Lingue originali.
Lingue originali, appuntamento con la letteratura in lingua inglese, bentrovati da Dario Albertini e anche da Marco Piovaz, che tra poco torneremo ad ascoltare. Proprio con Marco, sia in questa stagione che in quella precedente che ha inaugurato il ciclo di lingue originali, abbiamo imparato a conoscere alcuni scritti che sono diventati poi dei veri e propri casi televisivi. Ricordate la raccolta Talking Heads di Alan Bennett? Grande successo sulla BBC alla fine degli anni '80. Bene, a partire da oggi e credo fino alla fine della stagione, quindi fino all'episodio che chiuderà il mese di giugno, conosceremo un altro autore che si chiama Roald Dahl, classe 1916, inglese ma di origine norvegese. Ha lavorato molto tempo in Africa, è stato pilota della RAF durante la Seconda Guerra Mondiale. Poi si è trasferito negli Stati Uniti, dove ha scritto racconti, romanzi e libri per ragazzi che hanno ottenuto a livello internazionale davvero un grandissimo successo. Ha scritto molto per i ragazzi. Se andate a cercare in rete troverete tantissime storie in lingua inglese, quindi utili per i più giovani che si avvicinano alla lingua inglese, veramente di grande impatto. Storie strane, se vogliamo, perché l'umorismo, perché di questo si parla quando raccontiamo la storia letteraria di Roald Dahl, è a tinte spesso scure. Non è un caso che si parli di humor nero. Gli scenari talora sono macabri o quantomeno grotteschi. Vi dico qualche titolo: Gli Sporcelli, The Twist del 1980, La fabbrica di cioccolato, titolo originale Charlie and the Chocolate Factory del 1964, il libro che ha fatto seguito alla fabbrica di cioccolato, Il grande ascensore di cristallo, Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator del 1973. Ce ne sono altri. E ci sono anche delle storie assolutamente sorprendenti per il loro finale. Parliamo di letteratura, questa volta per gente un po' più su con gli anni, che si intitolano proprio Storie Impreviste, Tales of the Unexpected. E siamo nel 1979. Anche in questo caso, un anno dopo, c'è stato un seguito. Storie ancora più impreviste, More Tales of the Unexpected. Insomma, capite che vogliamo riportarvi in una dimensione narrativa che vi coinvolgerà tanto come lettori quanto come spettatori, se vorrete andare su YouTube a trovare la serie che si intitola appunto Tales of the Unexpected. Tales of the Unexpected, scusate. È una produzione inglese andata in onda fra il 1979 e il 1988. E allora, partiamo da qui. Di Roald Dahl, da Tales of the Unexpected, iniziamo a leggere con Marco Piovaz The Bookseller.
If in those days you walked up from Trafalgar Square into Charing Cross Road, you would come in a few minutes to a shop on the right-hand side that had above the window the words William Buggage, Rare Books. If you peered through the window itself, you would see that the walls were lined with books from floor to ceiling, and if you then pushed open the door and went in, you would immediately be assailed by that subtle odor of old cardboard and tea leaves that pervades the interiors of every second-hand bookshop in London. Nearly always, you would find 2 or 3 customers in there, silent, shadowy figures in overcoats and trilby hats, rummaging among the sets of Jane Austen and Trollope and Dickens and George Eliot, hoping to find the first edition. No shopkeeper ever seemed to be hovering around to keep an eye on the customers, and if somebody actually wanted to pay for a book instead of pinching it and walking out, then he or she would have to push through a door at the back of the shop on which it said, "Office, pay here." If you went into the office, you would find both Mr. William Buggage and his assistant, Miss Muriel Tottle, seated at their respective desks and very much preoccupied. Mr. Buggage would be sitting behind a valuable 18th century mahogany partner's desk, and Miss Tottle, a few feet away, would be using a somewhat smaller but no less elegant piece of furniture, a Regency writing table with a top of faded green leather. On Mr. Buggage's desk, there would invariably be one copy of the day's London Times, as well as the Daily Telegraph, the Manchester Guardian, the Western Mail, and the Glasgow Herald. There would also be a current edition of Who's Who close at hand, fat and red and well thumbed. Miss Tottle's writing table would have on it an electric typewriter and a plain but very nice open box containing notepaper and envelopes, as well as a quantity of paper clips and staplers and other secretarial paraphernalia. Now and again, but not very often, a customer would enter the office from the shop and would hand his chosen volume to Miss Tottle, who checked the price written in pencil on the fly leaf and accepted the money, giving change when necessary from somewhere in the left-hand drawer of her writing table. Mr. Buggage never bothered even to glance up at those who came in and went out, and if one of them asked a question, it would be Miss Tottle who answered it. Neither Mr. Buggage nor Miss Tottle appeared to be in the least concerned about what went on in the main shop. In point of fact, Mr. Buggage took the view that if someone was going to steal a book, then good luck to him. He knew very well that there was not a single valuable first edition out there on the shelves. There might be a moderately rare volume of Galsworthy or an early Vow that had come in with a job lot bought at auction, and there were certainly some good sets of Boswell and Walter Scott and Robert Louis Stevenson and the rest, often very nicely bound in half or even whole calf. But those were not really the sort of things you would slip into your overcoat pocket. Even if a villain did walk out with half a dozen volumes, Mr. Buggage wasn't going to lose any sleep over it. Why should he, when he knew that the shop itself earned less money in a whole year than the backroom business grossed in a couple of days? It was what went on in the back room that counted. One morning in February, when the weather was foul and sleet was slanting white and wet on the window panes of the office, Mr. Buggage and Miss Tottle were in their respective places as usual, and each was engrossed, one might even say fascinated, by his and her own work. Mr. Buggage, with a gold Parker pen poised above a notepad, was reading the Times and jotting things down as he went along. Every now and again he would refer to Who's Who and make more jottings. Miss Tottle, who had been opening the mail, was now examining some checks and adding up totals. 3 today, she said. What's it come to? Mr. Buggage asked, not looking up. 1,600, Miss Tottle said. Mr. Buggage said, "I don't suppose we've heard anything yet from that bishop's house in Chester, have we?" "A bishop lives in a palace, Billy, not a house," Miss Stottle said. "I don't give a sort where he lives," Mr. Buggage said. "But I get just a little bit uneasy when there's no quick answer from somebody like that." "As a matter of fact, the reply came this morning," Miss Stottle said. "Coughed up all right. The full amount." "That's a relief," Mr. Buggage said. "That's a relief," Mr. Buggage said. "We never done a bishop before, and I'm not sure it was any too clever." The cheque came from some solicitors. Mr. Buggage looked up sharply. "Was there a letter?" he asked. "Yes." "Read it." Miss Stottle found the letter and began to read. "Dear Sir, with reference to your communication of the 4th instant, we enclose herewith a cheque for £537 in full settlement. Yours faithfully, Smithsons, Briggs and Ellis." Miss Stottle paused. "That seems all right, doesn't it?" "It's all right this time," Mr. Buggage said. "But we don't want no more solicitors, and let's not have any more bishops either." "I agree about bishops," Miss Stottle said, "but you're not suddenly ruling out earls and lords and all that lot, I hope." "Lords is fine," Mr. Buggage said. "We never had no trouble with lords, nor earls either. And didn't we do a duke once?" "The Duke of Dorset," Miss Stottle said. "Did him last year. Over £1,000. "Very nice," Mr. Buggage said. "I remember selecting him myself straight off the front page." He stopped talking while he prized a bit of food out from between two front teeth with the nail of his little finger. "What I says is this," he went on. "The bigger the title, the bigger the twit. In fact, anyone's got a title on its name is almost certain to be a twit." "Now that's not quite true, Billy," Miss Stottle said. "Some people are given titles because they've done absolutely brilliant things, like inventing penicillin or climbing Mount Everest." "I'm talking about inherited titles," Mr. Buggage said. "Anyone gets born with a title, it's odd on here's a twit." "You're right there," Miss Stottle said. "We've never had the slightest trouble with the aristocracy." Mr. Buggage leaned back in his chair and gazed solemnly at Miss Stottle. "You know what?" he said. "One of these days we might even have a crack at royalty." "Ooh, I love it," Miss Stottle said. "Stock them for a fortune."
Grazie a Marco Piovaz. Lo avete ascoltato nella lettura e nell'interpretazione di alcune pagine che abbiamo raccolto sotto il titolo Primo, episodio, dedicato a Roald Dahl, alla raccolta Tales of the Unexpected e in particolare a The Bookseller. Lingue originali, 3 episodi la settimana, in uscita il venerdì, il sabato e la domenica, sempre alle ore 22, per conoscere firme della letteratura inglese, tedesca e francese, rispettivamente con Marco Piovaz, Nadia Meroni e Barbara Marchand. Io sono Dario Albertini, vi ringrazio per l'ascolto e vi do appuntamento al prossimo episodio di Lingue Originali su Caffè Italia.
Lingue originali.